All right. Hello, welcome to the latest episode of Miss M Tries to Teach You Things. So, what we're going to be doing today is color balance. So remember, I'm using a little bit older version of Photoshop, so things might be in a slightly different place than they are on the version of Photoshop you're using, but it should be very similar. So Kian said that I could use one of his images to demo. So let's go to miscellaneous, and this image could use some color balancing. So this is his TIFF file that he scanned. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, if I haven't already, is I'm going to save this as my edit file, which will be my Photoshop file. So on this one, the first thing I'm going to do to differentiate is I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to call it Test 2, but Edit. And I'm going to put mine on the desktop so I don't confuse it with Kian's actual stuff, but you should be saving it into your folder. So your edit file should be a Photoshop file because you'll have all your layers on there. Okay, and we'll say save. So normally, you'd crop, rotate, dust, scratches, contrast, all that. So on this file, maybe you've already done that, but right now we're just going to deal with color balance. Okay, so you have your background layer, then you're going to go to your little half and half cookie, and you're going to select color balance. And just like you do in the color darkroom, you should see the things that look pretty familiar to you. Okay, the colors of red, okay, yellow, and blue. Or sorry, excuse me, magenta, magenta, magenta and yellow, what you do. But they're the opposites, right? The opposite of magenta is green, the opposite of yellow is blue, the opposite of cyan is red. So you can also see somewhere it should say whether you're adjusting the color in the shadows, the midtones, or the highlights. All right, so this one, I'm going to look at the skin tones to try and make those look a little bit more natural. It's tricky with this like fluorescent light. Okay, right, so if I push it more to green, it'll be too green. Okay, so you're just going to adjust the sliders until you, get the color that you think is the most accurate. Okay, to preview, you're going to click on the little eyeball, before and after. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better. This one I probably would just need to also add maybe like a little bit of curves since the light is kind of flat. Seems to be a lot of contrast. That's kind of a quick little version of that. Okay, go back to my color balance. Yeah, it's also still really kind of, okay. So that's just like a quick little version. Something else, if the color just isn't quite right, like if the color is too intense or not intense enough, you're going to want to go down to your half and half cookie, go to hue and saturation. And don't mess with hue. Just use color balance for adjusting the actual colors themselves, but saturation, how intense is the color, right? So you could oversaturate, or if you take out saturation, that removes color. So maybe for this one, I don't want the color to be as sort of punchy, like as intense. So I'm just going to go -6 on the saturation just to like tone it down like a little bit. Like I still like the color, but it's just like a little too much. So for me, especially in this quick tutorial video, I'll call that good. I'm going to say File, Save. That'll save all my layers, and I've already changed the name, and it's a Photoshop file. I'm going to say OK. All right. When you're all done with your edits, then you will flatten, resize, and then save it as a JPEG. But until the image is perfectly edited, keep it as the edit file in the Photoshop with all your layers so that you can easily go back. Okay, that's it for adjusting color.